Hey Rob, what are you working on, man?
Nothing, just my subject selection sheet.
Can we see what classes you're taking?
Sure.
Alright, statistics, calculus.
Oh, look, he's not taking AP Research.
You're not taking AP Research? Why not, man?
In all honesty, I don't know much about the class, and it kind of scares me.
Oh, well, not to worry. Jose and I are Capstone veterans, and we'll tell you a little bit more about the program and the benefits that it has.
The AP Capstone program has a multitude of benefits. To start off, the secondary course, Advanced Placement Research, is taught by the one and only Jonathan Milian, who happens to be our school's CAP advisor.
So when he's not teaching AP Research, he'll be teaching you about all the nuances of the college admissions process. So by taking AP Research, you'll have an increased exposure to Mr. Milian. So come your senior year, you'll have a jumpstart on the stressful process that is the college admissions process.
Another benefit of the AP Capstone program is that in AP Research, you are tasked with writing a 5,000-word research paper. Although this may seem scary at first, this is tasked quite frequently in college.
Exactly. So when you do get to college, 5,000 word papers or even more than that will be expected of you in a shorter amount of time. So by taking AP Research, when you get to college, this should be of no surprise to you. Writing papers in a relatively short amount of time should not be something new to you when you get to college. So when they're tasked more frequently of you in a short amount of time, it should not be as stressful as it is for other kids who have not taken the course before. Another benefit of the AP Capstone program, namely AP Seminar, is that the course helps you to either develop or strengthen your presentation skills, as the course requires that you present your findings from your research projects from throughout the year.
This proves to be beneficial as later on in life, many careers and jobs require one to present to a certain audience. Therefore, this program helps strengthen that vital skill.
Exactly. And so another reason why you should take AP Seminar is that if you've never presented before, this class will kind of help you get into the gist of professional presenting, as again, both AP Seminar and AP Research require that you do presentations to show what you have found throughout your research projects from throughout the year. So if you've never presented before, you should not worry, because this class could be helpful to you because it'll teach you how to present professionally and clearly so that your audience understands what you were saying. When deciding what classes to pick, AP Capstone should definitely be a consideration of yours, because the course, specifically AP Seminar, helps you to develop vital collaboration skills. So in AP Seminar, the first part of the project requires that you work with a group in order to solve a problem that you guys have identified, and through research be able to come up with a solution and present that as one of your presentations. And so the role that AP Seminar plays in enhancing your collaboration skills by working with others to solve complex real-world problems is very important in real life, because, for example, as you get to college, you're not working solo most of the time. You're working with a lot of other students on certain research opportunities, projects, or even homework assignments. And so even for college alone, this need for collaboration is very, very important. And this carries on later into life when you get a job, a profession, and you need to be able to work comfortably with others to be able to maybe solve a problem that you're going after or come up with a new idea. So definitely AP Seminar is very helpful and is very useful because it helps you to develop a collaboration skill that is very vital in college and in later life.
Something unique about the Capstone program is that AP Research students are required to reflect. This is a vital component to the class, as the students are allowed to think critically, analytically, and outside the box. It is a mindset that is unique to the class. It is not offered in many other advanced placement classes or honors classes in the high school. This is why students are highly recommended to take AP Research and the Capstone program as a whole, as the students will be able to think in a way that they will have to be required to in a post-secondary level.
One reason why students don't take AP Capstone is because they're afraid of failing. It should not be a fear that you have, because the AP Capstone program makes it very easy to pass both AP Seminar and AP Research, and I'll explain why. So in AP Seminar, you have several opportunities to gain as many points as possible. Many students think that, the only way I can pass is if I do well on the paper, and that's not necessarily true. The score is broken down into many different parts. You have the paper and the presentation for the first part. Now for the second part of AP Seminar, you have another paper and another presentation. And that's just for the actual year. For the exam, you also have 2 parts of the exam. So the points for AP Seminar are spread out significantly, and there's many different ways that you can gain points. It's not all about doing well on the paper or well on the presentation. So AP Seminar and AP Research are definitely very easy to pass, and it's not something you should be afraid of. And the same is true for research. For research, you have your academic paper and your presentation. The academic paper makes up 75% of the score. So if you don't do so good on the paper, you still have the presentation, which is the other 25%. So definitely, you should take AP Research and AP Seminar, the Capstone program, because the College Board makes it relatively easy to pass because it's not difficult to pass because you have these spread out points throughout both courses. Another great benefit of enrolling in the AP Capstone program is the amount of freedom that these courses offer. This applies more towards AP Research, where you can base your research project that you conduct throughout the year on any academic topic of your interest. Now, this allows for more free thinking and creativity in the classroom, and as a result, you won't have this restricted feeling that you may have had in other research classes or classes where you may have had to write papers on very specific topics. So with this free form, it's very easy to write about what you like and something that is of interest to you, which makes the class very easy, fun, and creative.
For example, this year's research class came up with a variety of interesting topics such as cosmetics, marijuana, and even breastfeeding, which means that a research student can do research on any topic of interest, as long as there's a gap and there is a certain contribution to the real world.
What research topic will you choose?
Something that the AP Capstone program provides students with is certain efficacies and guidelines of the research process.
Yes. So, as an example, when you do take AP Seminar, AP Research, you might learn about the different formalities or efficacies within certain formatting styles. So, as an example, you might learn how to distinguish between APA and MLA and certain citing violations you might use. So, as an example, you might learn in these classes that in APA you need to stick to a very specific format, otherwise it will create violations. Same thing for MLA or Chicago or Harvard and the other formatting styles that you would learn about in these classes. And this can be very important as you move on to later fields in research like college or in careers, because as you move on, these certain minute details, so as an example, maybe learning how to properly cite a figure, a table, or an image, or an author within a piece of work or literature, learning how to properly cite that in a research paper can be very important in later levels of research, like career research, or research that you might do as a job or in your career or in college, where people who are evaluating your papers are looking very specifically at these very minute details. So the AP Capstone program definitely makes you very knowledgeable about these very specific details that are extremely important.
Something I have noticed in juniors when thinking of taking AP Research is that they seem very demotivated due to the restrictive guidelines of taking seminar the year prior. Although there are pros and cons of taking both classes in the program. For example, in seminar, one is limited on what topics to conduct the research on. However, they are given more opportunities to collaborate with one another, especially under a certain task, which is the team group project. For research, it is a more individualistic approach, but you are given much more freedom on conducting research on whatever topic.
Above all, one of the most vital and quintessential skills that you gain from taking the AP Capstone courses of seminar and research is the skills of analytical and critical thinking. Now, you may gain these skills in these courses when you analyze certain pieces of literature, for example, in seminar, when you have to connect it to your individual research report to see how you can solve the problem that your team is tasked with that you gain. So as a result, analyzing these pieces of literature in the field, you have to see how you can connect it to your paper to solve the problem. Same thing for research when you're doing your literature review to see which sources co-align with yours with your research method or your research study to see how you can expose a gap. So and as a result of doing these these things and working with a group or working by yourself in research and coming up with, working really hard to solve certain problems that you are identifying, you are developing these vital analytical and critical thinking skills. Now, these skills go far beyond the classroom go far beyond the classes of research and seminar. So, for example, in your math class, you might need these skills when you're trying to figure out a very tricky word problem and to find the value of some variable, and you need to be able to think. And this could also happen in your reading classes when you're analyzing a very old piece of literature and you have to be able to solve certain questions for that piece of literature. And this goes far beyond the high school classroom as well, when you're working in your career and you're trying to solve a problem. And you need these vital critical and thinking skills, critical, analytical, and thinking skills that you get from taking AP Capstone. So above all, you should take this class to develop and sharpen these skills so they can be used not only in high school but in far beyond.
Well, Robert, I hope this helped you in your decision.
And to any student out there who's wondering whether they should take research or seminar as a part of the Capstone program, the answer is a definite yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching.